back in patch 7.1, Futures Rewritten Ultimate was released. This was an ultimate raid based on the Shadowbringers Eden Raid series. The final phase of the fight introduced a fusion of Gaia and Reen called Pandora, who used a mix of light and darkness to try and vanquish your party. The animations were really interesting, so I thought I'd take a closer look at them. A huge thank you to Fairy for helping me get some of the footage for this video. He was incredible and helped me find some really interesting insights. If you like this kind of video, I have a couple others on the channel that I'll have linked at the end of the video. So the first thing I want to point out was just how good the character design is for this. Pandora's clothes are a mix of Gaia and Reen's clothes blended together. The dress is pretty close to what Reen's looks like, but is color swapped to black, while this double skirt is modeled after Gaia's clothes and color swapped to white. It's just a really simple change, but I think it blends together really well. Also, I love how the edges of the skirt is half Gaia themed and half Reen themed. All of it comes together in a really interesting character design. It's probably a really tough thing to balance, I imagine, but the designers knocked it out of the park. The weapons she summons are the Eden's Grace Greatsword, which is the Dark Knight weapon drop from the Sepulture raid, and has a slight recolor for light and darkness. I like how the Darkness blade has a teal colored gem, and the Light blade has a purplish colored gem. Nods to Reen and Gaia, I'm sure. The first attack is called Fulgent Blade. Fulgent means not just a bright light, but the shining light that you see right at sunset, before the darkness takes over. The actual animation is a simple two-slicing attack with these two huge arcs of light and darkness coming off of the blade strikes. Then dozens of individual slice effects fly across the screen. Even the floor shows gouges in the ground as the attack goes off. Lines are left on the ground after the attack, half light and half darkness. These crisscross throughout the map, with multiple strikes making their way across the arena that you need to dodge. Watching them all go off in this eagle eye view feels even more overwhelming than just dodging it in the moment. While you are dodging, Pandora charges up the next attack, in Akmorn. The actual animation is not too crazy, there's just rings of light and darkness that pop off of the wings, and a pillar is baited on either side of her. The effects on these give this crystal-like effect to the pillars that I think looks really good. This animation here is the same one that Pandora uses for Paradise Regained. This attack and the Enrage attack, Paradise Lost, are both references to poems. When you look into them, you see that there is a battle between Satan and Jesus, and it's really interesting that these are the poems that they wanted to reference. These poems question a lot about free will and how humans have a choice, so I feel it is incredibly fitting thematically to reference these poems as Gaia and Reen fight back to take control of Pandora. In each tower, bands of light and darkness move downwards towards these panels that have two crystals circling around them. To me, this is a callback to protecting the memories in Eden's Promise, making sure the crystals of memory don't shatter. You can see the crystals have light encircle them when a tower is correctly filled, keeping them from shattering as the Akmorn beam rains down. You can see here that when only one person is in the tower, only one crystal is shielded, and the shield effect around the tower has less effects surrounding it. It will also explode outwards, usually wiping the rest of the party. While these towers are resolving, the two tanks have to bait Tankbusters, with one guiding a cleave that takes over a little bit more than half the arena, and the other baiting a blast of magic. These strikes use the same slashing effect we saw for Fulgent Blade. There also seems to be an unused animation that is a half-room cleave that has wings fly up from the slash. I'm really curious what this would have been used for, but I guess that'll be something we never know. The last main attack of this fight is Polarizing Strikes, which has Pandora twisting and sending out two shockwaves. I love how there is just one singular slash that shifts from darkness to light with this animation. The actual beams leave behind a familiar pattern on the floor that explodes just like the waves left over from Fulgent Blade. I love though how the strike effects in these patterns fill up before the attack actually goes off. You can't really time anything off of this, but just the attention to detail is really cool here. Pandora's box is a simple damage check. While Pandora's box is usually thought to be only bad things, the box was said to contain not only evil but also hope. Again, a nod to a mix of light and darkness. This animation when paired with the dialogue is fascinating as Pandora grabs at her head, trying to destroy the memories of Reen and Gaia. You can see the darkness and light be overtaken by this darker, more sinister looking magic. The memories of Reen and Gaia circling the map are also sent away for a brief second, before they push back, showing that Reen and Gaia are still fighting for control. Pandora makes a note though that when she returns, she'll succeed, referencing the Enrage attack Paradise Lost. This is probably one of the most incredible looking Enrage sequences. Pandora hides herself with her wings as she merges the two greatswords into one, giant wings arcing out from either side. There's this cocoon of darkness that also falls over her during this, and on the outside of the arena you can see greatswords circling around as light and darkness are pulled upwards in these streams. The sinister magic returns as Pandora slices down with the merged sword, destroying the memories and everyone, leaving only darkness. The merged greatsword here has the same look as the weapons you can get from this fight. Like I said, just a really amazing, phenomenal ending to the fight in my opinion. All in all, I think the animations and some of the storytelling that they lend to this phase are incredible. I hope you learned something new, and I'm sure I missed some things, so if you have any insight, I'd love to hear them down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, I have some other videos like it on the channel. Subscribe for more, and I will see you in the next video.